Next on Worcester News tonight, the Blackstone Valley hitting the jackpot for snow from an overnight storm as crews are working to clear it all away. Plus, several central Massachusetts schools canceling classes for the day while many families enjoy their day off outside. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. Wet, heavy snow coming in late last night into this morning caused a headache for many people in central Massachusetts, especially in the Blackstone Valley, where residents got hit hard by the storm. The National Weather Service says more than a foot of snow fell in the area, forcing shovelers and road crews to spend most of their day cleaning up. Our Rosalind Flaherty joins us live now with more. Rosalind?
Olivia, this is the aftermath of more than a foot of snow in the Blackstone Valley. We're in Sutton on top of this snow pile, and today crews say they were caught off guard because they weren't expecting this much snow. More than a foot of wet, heavy snow buries the Blackstone Valley. It's one of the hardest hit places in Massachusetts, and the cleanup is difficult.
It is good exercise, but, I don't need all this exercise.
It is heavy. I'm old. I'm 70.
It's really good for sledding and making snowmen.
The National Weather Service says 13 inches of snow fell on Northbridge. Highway Superintendent Jamie Lucchini says they were not expecting this much snow and had to adapt by putting more crews on the roads.
Just kind of hoping we would turn the page on spring, and now we're back to February.
Nearly 40 pieces of equipment were working during the storm. The goal is to clear and treat roadways before the snow freezes overnight.
All the building cleanup and the sidewalks especially. We got to get the snow blowers out. They're actually backing them out right now so we can have school tomorrow and get all the sidewalks in the school areas, which that'll be the challenge.
Homeowners like Dennis Larson are trying to get ahead of the freeze. He spent hours cleaning off his property.
I got two cars, as you can see. The one is still buried. I'm working on the sidewalk to get to it.
Shovelers say although it's been a mild winter, they are ready for the warm weather to come.
January 2nd, I'm ready for spring.
I'm always ready for spring. Always, always, always.
The highway superintendent says things will freeze up tonight, so be careful if you're going out on the roads. Live in Sutton, Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
And close to 200 cars were towed in Worcester during this past snowstorm. The city says compliance was much better compared to a previous storm where close to 400 cars were towed. Worcester's DPW puts parking bans into place to help plows and emergency vehicles get through roadways better. Parking garages are typically open for free during snowstorms. The parking ban was lifted as of 4 p.m. And we are expected to see dry weather over the next few days, but it doesn't mean snow is done for the season. Here's meteorologist Pamela Gardner with a first look at our local forecast.
Well, we picked up some decent snow accumulation. What a way to start the work week. And we had to dig out from over a foot of snow across southern parts of Worcester County all the way through Boston, northern Rhode Island. Had many reports of 16 inches of snow. It was a fascinating system. And at one point we did have snow rates up to 3 inches per hour overnight. Well, as we continue to dig out from the snowfall, we will see drier conditions tonight and for tomorrow, but cold temperatures on the way. Today across Worcester County and Milford specifically, the jackpot, 17.5 inches of snow. Upton 16.3, Worcester 9.6, Fitchburg 7, Rutland 6.5, Leominster 6.5. So northern Worcester County had less than a foot of snow. To the south, a big difference. Overnight lows back into the teens tonight with a wind from the west-northwest. It's going to feel like the single digits. And tomorrow afternoon, we'll have highs near the freezing mark, although it's going to be tough to get to that 32-degree mark. I think we'll have a high of 28 degrees only across Worcester County. Coming up in just a bit, your 10-day forecast. It is quiet, but we're tracking a chance for some rain. We'll see you in a bit.
And the snow was significant enough to cancel school in many Worcester County districts. While the heaviness added work for DPWs and plows, it made for a great snow day. Towns like Shrewsbury got 9 inches and kids with the day off took advantage. Our Chandler Walsh joins us live now with more. Chandler?
Olivia, I'm just having a blast out here lounging on my handmade snow throne. Like me, some people in Shrewsbury also taking advantage of this sticky snow. They say they feel like this was the first time they were able to lounge and play in it all season. These Shrewsbury kids can't get enough of the snow. Jack and Ryan Edwards were excited when they found out they'd have a snow day Monday. They've been missing winter storms.
I got to sleep really late I caught up on all the sleep I missed during school.
Finally to see all the white stuff come back, fall from me in the sky.
The wet, heavy snow made it great for activities like fort building.
This one's really good snowball making, really good packing snow.
But not so great for a smooth snowmobile ride. This one got stuck when it went off track.
When you go in reverse, if you're where there's no track and you try to go in reverse, you're going to dig in the back. So we're just getting ourselves turned around.
The snow consistency also a challenge for the Shrewsbury DPW. They had 54 pieces of equipment on the roads for cleanup, almost a full fleet.
It was quite an undertaking to move around. The smaller vehicles had a tough time, but the bigger pieces of equipment moved it around without a problem.
Their crews worked long hours to treat roads. Highway Division Manager Nick Rapekta says it's been a hectic 3 weeks, from smaller storms, high winds, and now this.
We know spring's coming. Sweeping's right around the corner, and sunny days ahead.
Many are wishing for an end to cleanup, but Rebecca Edwards says her family enjoys the season.
We like it. We like winter.
The Edwards boys say snowmobiling was their favorite part of the day. The DPW's work didn't end with this snow. They stayed out hours later to continue salting. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
An active member of the Westborough community is identified as the victim of a two-car crash over the weekend. Police say 63-year-old Timothy Roth died following the collision. According to police, the two-car crash happened on North Street Saturday morning. Roth's car had extensive passenger side damage. The driver of the other car suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Roth was a local Boy Scout leader in town. Facebook comments remember him as a genuinely great guy who gave back to his community and encourage people to follow their passion. A Shrewsbury restaurant closed for 4 years is being called an eyesore by a local leader. State Representative Hannah Kane is trying to work with the owner to rehabilitate the building. Kane is calling for a meeting to discuss the status of the vacant structure, which needs close to $1 million in repairs. She has not heard back from the owner, but says the restaurant has prime location on Lake Quinsigamon and hopes to get the building back up and running. The Worcester Public Schools are currently holding meetings to discuss possibilities of what each school needs and how it will fit into the budget. Among the ideas is adding a school resource officer to Claremont Academy, and while the superintendent believes it would be beneficial, not all agree. Our Brittany Schaefer joins us live now with the details. Brittany?
Olivia, City Councilor Sarai Rivera doesn't like the idea. She says it's stereotyping the Main South neighborhood and not a good use of school funding. The Worcester Public Schools is considering adding a school resource officer to Claremont Academy.
The principal of Claremont put on that she would like an SRO officer.
Currently, the district's 5 largest high schools have their own officer, with 2 additional officers covering the city's remaining high schools and middle schools. City Councilor Sarai Rivera says an officer isn't necessary in her district because the school and the area around it has little crime.
The data does not support what they're saying. And I also felt that the way that the neighborhood was portrayed was very stigmatizing, and again, this negative connotation of Main South.
Superintendent Maureen Beninda says having an officer could help with concerns of traffic and crime in the area and the growing number of students at the school. She says the idea is just in talks and is surprised by the attention it's receiving.
It seems an overreaction to me in the community, and sometimes I think it's people's own personal beliefs about things. From being at a comprehensive high school for 38 years, one of the best things we ever did was put SROs in schools. Having police in schools has actually decreased the number of arrests that we've had, and has actually started a really nice relationship between students and the police.
Rivera has requested additional crossing guards and adjustment counselors for the school. She says there are better choices than a permanent school resource officer.
There's other things that we have requested that we have looked at, they've said they don't have money for. Then why would you have a resource officer when a resource officer is really to be inside a school when there's problems in school, but the reasoning you gave is so they can kind of patrol outside. But that's what we have a Worcester PD for. It doesn't make sense. In order for us to work on issues, we need to work collaboratively together.
And Beninda says the budget typically isn't released until July, so it'll be a while before any decisions are made. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A city committee is negotiating a contract extension for city manager Edward Augustus. The negotiation looks to keep Augustus in office beyond 2020. The City Council Municipal Operations Committee is headed by Councillor Sean Rose. They are requesting an executive session Tuesday night so the terms of the proposed extension can be brought before the entire council. Augustus has been city manager since January 2014. The council could vote on the extension as early as tomorrow night. A special delivery for the town of Rutland from a city in California. Rutland's town administrator and Madera, California's city manager took part in a friendly Super Bowl bet. It was the center of Massachusetts against the center of California. Well, we all know who won the big game, so today Rutland received a gift basket from Madera. The two leaders have never met each other, but hope the rivalry will form a new friendship.